Assalamu alaikum. This is me Jabbar Singh Dunyo, the student of Sindh University Campus Ladkana, Department of English, batch 2K19 and roll number also 19. Due to the pandemic situation of coronavirus, the Sindh University and the SEC the authority of SEC had decided to take the semester examination in the shape of presentation videos. So on their instructions, now I'm going to make a video, presentation video of my subject, listening and speaking skills. The concerned teacher, Mr. Zishan Ahmad Sheikh Sahab. The topics for my presentation video is the 7 elements of speech, intensive listening and using tact, extensive listening and its complete. Number 4, intensive versus extensive listening. Number 1 topic, 7 elements of speech. The 7 elements of speech are speaker, message, channel, listener, environmental situation, feedback and interference. Speaker, the person who is speaking, who is delivering a lecture, who is talking on any topic. For example, now I'm talking about the 7 elements of speech, means I am a speaker, I am speaking. Number 2 is message. Message, that speaker, what about the speaker is talking, what the speaker is talking about. For example, now I'm talking about the 7 elements of speech, means this is my message, means the purpose of speaking, the message, what I'm going to talking about, what I'm going to deliver you, this is a message. Number 3 is channel. Channel is the medium of sharing the knowledge. For example, I'm making this video, then I will upload my presentation video to my YouTube channel. Means the channel which give you my video is YouTube. Means YouTube is the channel, means a medium who is sharing the knowledge. For example, mobile phone, Zoom app, etc. Number 4, listener. Listener is the person who is listening, or a group of persons who are listening. For example, if teacher is speaking in the class, giving the lecture, the group of students listening to the teacher, mean they are the listeners. For example, I'm speaking now and you will listen this video from my YouTube channel, means you are the listeners. Number 5, environmental situation. Environmental situation is a physical gathering, is a physical situation on there we are talking about. For example, now I make this board, I purchase the marker, I use mobile phone and making a physical situation good for my presentation video. This is an environmental situation. Number 6 is feedback. Feedback is either a verbal or a visual cues. Feedback means a response from the listeners or the output. For example, if teacher is giving us a lecture on any topic, after the lecture, our teacher said that, Baba, have you get my points? Some students said, yes sir, we got your points. That is their verbal cues. And some students said just they did a gesture and postures, and they use their head like moving. This is visual cues. Number 7 is interference or noise. Interference and noise are the barriers in between the speaking. Some students or some boys or some person talking on other topic and they're making noise, they're disturbing us, that's called interference. For example, if any teacher delivering his or her lecture in the classroom and some of the students are making noise, means those are the barriers, or you can say a noise. So this is all about 7 elements of a speech. So now I'm going to my second topic, intensive listening using tact. First of all, definition, what is intensive listening? Intensive listening is the process of the listening which held inside the classroom, or which held in formal settings, which is also related to our degree, to our study, to our subjects. Means important, you can say also important listening is known as an intensive listening, which is also held inside the classroom, as I said. Now, in intensive listening using tape, or you can say recording, or for example, in classroom, many of the teachers using projector into the classroom for their lectures, mean they're using a tape, or you can say a recording. How they use a tape? First of all, they start the video or pictures, then they give us time or to watch that video, and then they give us a task, then they play return to start from the video, and then they play it again, or they give us a task to do. Now I'm going to intensive listening live. Live intensive listening held inside the classroom, you can say, or any formal situation, interviews, or you can say conversation, is live intensive listening. Some advantages and disadvantages. The advantages in intensive listening in tape. The advantages in intensive listening in tape are if we play a recording or tape, you can say recording or projector. The advantage of that tape is that we can restart the tape, we can play that video again and again to hear the clear voice of the main characters. The advantages of intensive listening in live. If a teacher are giving us a live lecture in intensive listening, we can interact in between the lecture, we can ask some question in between the lecture. So this is advantage of live intensive listening. Now the disadvantages in tape. Disadvantages in intensive listening using tape is that if classroom is so much big and the projector which a teacher use for their lecture is having the limited voice. If classroom is big, then the last student of the class may not be listen voice clearly. And second disadvantages of using tape is that between the playing video, no any interaction will be held. And the disadvantages in intensive listening in live is that first of all, teacher must have to do so much preparation, as I do too much preparation for this video. Now I'm moving to my third topic, extensive listening and its completes. The subtopics in this topic is definition, play, tape, live, advantages and disadvantages. First of all, the definition of extensive listening and its complete. The definition of extensive listening, from the word extensive, we can understand that extensive means outside the classroom, we can say also. Means the discussion or the gathering which is outside the classroom or outside the study circle, which is not related to our degree, to our study, that is known as an extensive listening. For example, I'm talking with my friends, which is not related to my degree or study, is known as an extensive listening. Extensive listening places. Extensive listening held outside the classroom, in gatherings of friends, at a hotel, in car, in bike, on mobile phone, anywhere we can talk except the classroom or except the formal gathering. We can say that is the place of extensive listening. Now I'm going towards the tape. The using of tape, or you can say a recording, in extensive listening. For example, I'm watching the movie on my mobile phone. It is up to me when I pause the movie, when I play the movie, from where I restart the movie, from where I escape the movie. It is all depend on me. Means it is not related to my degree, to my study, to my formal topics. Means it is extensive listening only for enjoyment, entertainment. As I told you in definition, that extensive listening is just listening for the enjoyment, entertainment, or knowledge or information, you can say. When I'm watching the movie for entertainment, so it is up to me that when I pause the movie, when I play the movie, when I play again the movie, and which actions I want to play again, I want to see again, watch again. It is up to me. It is not up to teacher or anyone, because this is an extensive listening. And extensive listening is for the enjoyment. Now live. Extensive listening held live. For example, I'm talking with my friend, communicate with my teacher, which is not related to the degree, which is not related to the formal gathering, which is not related to the study. Means that is a live extensive listening. Now the advantages of extensive listening. The main advantage of extensive listening is, for example, I'm reading a novel or a story, etc. That novel and story will increase my grammar, increase my vocabulary, increase my knowledge. That is a huge advantage of extensive listening. Another advantage of extensive listening is that If I'm getting bored from any novel which I'm reading for information knowledge, I can pause that novel, I can leave that novel, I can do another work. That is an advantage of extensive listening. But in intensive listening, it is not in my hand that either I bunk the lecture, etc. It is up to teacher. The disadvantages of extensive listening. The main disadvantages of extensive listening is that the unnaturally or the informal language. For example, when we met with our friends, we are talking an informal language, an informal tongue. For example, we are Sindhi people. We said our friends आज हाल वाला किथे आए वालो चाय वगैरह पियो. This is a disadvantage. Means the language is not formal in extensive listening, but in intensive listening we must have this formal language, because it is face to face with a teacher. So this is all about extensive listening. Now I'm going to my last topic, intensive versus extensive listening. First of all, the main difference between intensive and extensive listening is that intensive listening is the formal listening inside the classroom and which is related to our study, to our degree. And the extensive listening is maybe informal listening outside the classroom, in car, on bike, on mobile phone, etc., with friends, informal gathering maybe. This is all about intensive and extensive. Intensive listening is for our study, for our achieving the goals and for degree. And extensive listening just for information, for knowledge, for enjoyment, for entertainment. The main differences between intensive and extensive listening is class goal, listening, purpose, focus, material, amount, and speed. The class goal. In intensive listening, the class goal is that the accuracy. And we listen, the intensive listening for accuracy. We try to listen the accurate words, the accurate knowledge which is teacher giving us. But in extensive listening, we just listen fluently. We just speak, or we listen, or we read fluently. We don't want to break, or we don't want to. If it is means all depend on us. If we want to get break, it is in our hand. Means we can study, or we can read, we can learn fluently, non-break. Then listening. In intensive listening, the listening in intensive for the question, answer, and study. Means intensive listening. In intensive listening, we are listen for question, answers means related to our study. But in extensive listening, we just listen for information, for enjoyment, for entertainment. Now, purpose. In intensive listening, the purpose is that to for new words, for pronunciation, correct our pronunciation, for knowledge, for vocabulary, we listen the intensive listening. But in extensive listening is that only the meaning. Means we want to understand only the meaning of whole topic, of whole syllabus, of whole story, etc. But in intensive listening, we must have to learn the words, pronunciation, etc. Number 4 is focus. In intensive listening, our focus is on a speaker, on teacher, and we all depend on the teacher, on the speaker, that what he or she choose to speak, to listen. We have to listen. But in extensive listening, our focus is depend on us, that which material we choose for information, for knowledge, or for enjoyment. Means it is all depend on us, that which subject, or which thing, or which topic, or which movie we choose. Now, material. In intensive listening, the material is too difficult, because it is related to our study, related to our degree, related to our future. And in extensive listening, material is a lot, means information, knowledge is a lot, but it is depend on us that how much material we take for information, for knowledge, or for enjoyment. Now, amount in intensive listening is not so much, is not too much, because our degree, our study have a limited period of time. For example, I'm doing now bachelor's. It has a limited time of 4 years. After 4 years, I completed my bachelor's degree, then I have not a lot of amount for study. And in extensive listening, amount is comfortable. Means it is also, as I said before, that it is also depend on us that day how much amount we got, how much amount we take for information, for knowledge, for enjoyment. Means it is depend on us. Now, the speed. Speed in intensive listening is uncomfortable. Definitely, we couldn't say teacher that sir, please change your speed, etc. Means if a teacher means teacher comfortable himself or herself that how much speed he has to give to the students, means it is not dependent on us that if we want to slow the speed or fast the speed, we couldn't say to teacher much more. But in extensive listening, it is all depend on us. If we don't like it, we can stop it. As I wrote here, that stop if you want. Means if we want to stop the movie, if we want to stop the reading the novel, we can stop it. We take break. It is depend on us. Now, in the last, in intensive listening, we can use dictionary for words, for their meanings, for vocabulary. But in extensive listening, no dictionary. We couldn't use a dictionary anymore because in movie there are some words we couldn't use. We really don't want to use a dictionary. Just we want to understand the meaning of that sentence of that verse. So this is all about my today's presentation of subject speaking and listening skills. If you have any question, any query, feel free to ask in comments. Thank you.